Hi, everyone.
Hi,
It's Alicia Davis
and Stacy Watson.
from Transformative Leadership Strategies,
Yep, that's
where
us.
we do all things coaching and team building, and we always like to bring things that are of interest to our clients or stories from our clients, right, Stace?
Yes, we do. Just makes
And
it more real, I think.
I think yes, for sure. So, what have we been hearing lately?
Well, I think there is always a theme around communication in general in our client organizations. I think just the human condition, there's a sense that we would all like to be able to communicate as effectively as we can with each other. So
Definitely.
that definitely comes up. And more specifically, we hear that sometimes leaders are having a difficult time engaging in difficult communications.
Yep.
So they maybe get stuck, maybe they participate in behaviors they're not that happy with, whatever it is, people aren't always feeling very good about it.
Yeah. And I think the difficulty comes, I mean, we're human beings, we're complex, we have emotions about things. We all
That's
have our own perspectives about how we look at things,
that's
and
right.
we have the feelings that come up. And then, we just kind of have this natural tendency to think, well, maybe I'm right, right? I'm right. That other maybe we don't say I'm right, you're wrong, but it might be just like we automatically think that our way is the way to look at it or feel about it. And sometimes that kind of lizard brain kind of gets in our way and shuts down our ability to just be a little bit more objective.
It's so true, and I think it's really interesting how I can know, I just within my own self, sometimes I find that I sort of dig in on a particular topic or whatever the issue is. And it's not until I sort of take one little mini step back to say, why am I so passionate about this? And maybe it is an issue to be passionate about. And
Right.
often I find my level of passion is a little bit out of whack for whatever the issue is.
Right.
It's
Right.
interesting. Yeah.
Right. And it's passion in the sense of like it's high energy,
High
right?
energy,
It's like,
exactly.
right, you might be having some kind of a like really strong reaction to something, and it makes no sense given whatever the actual situation is.
That's right.
Right. It's gonna be, I mean, this
Absolutely.
is ridiculous, but it can be somebody left something on the copy machine and you have like this whole big blow up about it, but it has nothing to do with what's on the copy machine. Right. It has something to do with the conversation that you had with a person, 3 hours ago.
Well, and I think, as we think about providing maybe some insight or guidance or just thoughts around this idea of having difficult conversations, we always start with ourselves, right? Because
Always.
when we're in those moments that are charged in high energy, in the moment it can be difficult. And being able to take a little step back and reflect, even just a bit, can provide some really important perspective for ourselves before we ever utter another word with that person, right? It
Right.
really is like coming back to home and center to say, is what I'm experiencing making sense to me? Like, is this level of energy sensible in this moment? And do I feel okay with that or not? And if not, what are some things I can do to kind of regulate or calm myself before I ever even then exchange words across the desk or the aisle or
That's right.
whatever it
That's
is.
right. And we've talked about this often, but it's hitting that internal pause button, right?
Yes,
It's being able to, in the moment when you're feeling heated, when you're feeling upset, when you're feeling frustrated or hopeless or whatever it is, that you actually can hit the pause button and say, okay, well, this is a feeling that I'm having. It's valid, and it's only a feeling. It doesn't have to control me, or it's
right.
only a thought that I'm having. It's one perspective. Like, so how can I just kind of, like you just said, internally take a breath and just pause long enough to try to have a little bit of objectivity. And sometimes you just have to take that pause so that you can just calm yourself down for a minute or two, right? And
That's right.
then there's ways and questions and practices that we're going to offer actually a little bit next week. But today is really about inviting everyone to consider that we are the only people that are in charge of how we feel or our own reactions to things. And so when you're getting ready to have difficult conversations, it's even more important to be able to figure out, what are you going to need to do to stay in your best self,
Exactly.
right? To
Exactly.
maintain your calm, your evenness, your capacity to be as open and willing to listen to another person as possible, you know, and all of that is really that self-reflection.
That's so true. So, as we think about having difficult conversations, we're really breaking it into two pieces. And this week, we're really focusing on ourselves.
Right,
How are we showing up or preparing for those conversations?
right.
So,
So
yeah,
hopefully that was helpful, everyone,
absolutely.
and we'll talk to you next week.
We'll talk to you next week. Bye bye.
Thanks. Bye-bye.